I've never been in a place as filthy as India, and part of the reason that it's so filthy is there are just too many people.
Right.
But I've been in like worse places, poorer places, more dangerous places. But the thing that I hate the most about India is the way Indians treat one another. It's shocking to me, this caste system that they have. It's shocking. I'll give you an example. I had a driver that was assigned to me for I was there for 6 weeks. And guy was a really sweet guy, wife and 2 little kids at home. And the guy's only making, I don't know, $100 a month, $150 a month. So my boss told me before I left, don't over-tip. You're going to ruin it for everybody else. Well, of course I'm going to over-tip this poor guy. He was, he committed 24 hours a day to me if I wanted to go anywhere at all.
Well, you set the standard.
I did. I set the standard.
You fucked everything up.
I did. And I don't care.
This is why you're not in the group chat. Because you got to come together and agree on everything.
And my boss is
You're over-tipping, the next guy has to fucking over-tip, and then you just keep going up and up.
So I told him, I said, listen, let me take you to lunch. I was staying at the Westin.
In India?
In Hyderabad, India.
Okay.
I said, let me take you to lunch. There's this wonderful restaurant inside the Westin. Oh, thank you so much. I said, great. 1 o'clock. So 1 o'clock, I'm there in the restaurant, I'm waiting. I was like, 1 o'clock, 1:15, 1:30, where is this guy? So I walk outside and he's just standing out there. And I said, what are you doing out here? Come on in. He said, I'm sorry, sir, they won't let me in. And the guy that's, what do you call the guy? The welcome guy.
Yeah, at the concierge?
Yeah, I guess, why not? Concierge. He says, I'm sorry, sir, but he's of a lower caste. He can't come into the hotel. I said, he's my guest. I've invited him into the hotel. He said, I'm sorry, sir. I said, I want to talk to the manager. Manager comes out. He says, he can't come in the hotel. He's of a low caste. I said, I'm a guest in this hotel, and I've invited him to lunch. He's my friend.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, I don't care who you are. He's not coming in the hotel.
Wow.
So I was furious. We get in the car and I said, listen, let's go to the best restaurant in Hyderabad. They're famous for Hyderabadi biryani, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's
I don't even know what that is.
It's rice mixed with vegetables and meats.
Okay.
Big deal.
Yeah.
But they're famous. It's their thing there. I said, take me to the best biryani place in Hyderabad. He takes me to this old British, Victorian mansion that's been converted into a restaurant.
He took you to the nicest place, right?
It was the nicest place. And the manager
wouldn't let you in.
No, he says, you can come in. He can't come in.
Oh, again.
Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck with you people? I said, he's my guest. And then, we had some back and forth. They agreed to set up a table outside.
And they're doing this to their own people, huh?
To their own people. And this happens every single day. Another thing that I saw that
every once in a while you come across a conversation that doesn't just teach you something new. It challenges the way you think about the world. That is exactly what happened to me with the discussion we are looking at today. It explores one of the oldest social systems still affecting millions of people. That is the caste system in India. So guys, let's watch this video out. Then remember, you are going to buy me a coffee if you are going to click that subscription button, and also watch the video until the end. Then I'll be back with my 2 cents.
In India has existed for at least 3,000 years. The caste system in India is a social hierarchy passed down from generation to generation.
Your caste dictates your profession, your social life, how society perceives you, who you are able to marry, and what kind of opportunities are available to you. Right outside the caste system is a group called Dalit, also known as untouchables. It is the lowest status a person can hold.
My intention for this video is not to discuss the caste system, its history, or its very discriminatory ways, but to focus the attention on the people who are deeply affected and marginalized because of it. Within the untouchable group, Dalits are not alone. Tribal groups of India, who are the true indigenous people, are also pushed into this category, with Dalits ranking just a bit higher than the tribals.
Even in India, the lower castes, especially the Dalits, are subjected to honor.
What's an honor?
An honor kill is when 2 different castes get married or fall in love and they try to elope. The family is not approving to save the family's honor. The family members, they end up going and killing the couple.
2024?
You do have news articles every now and then, and even I think last year there were a few more news articles about honor killings, about intercaste marriages and love marriages which were not approved by the families.
You're allowed to.
It's not allowed. It's not allowed, but they kill for the sake of their honor, the family's honor.
Right. So if you marry somebody lower caste,
yes, or like another caste that they don't approve of, it's usually like that.
and that's defensible in court?
No, it's not. They do get jailed for it.
Right.
It's just that people still do it.
Can you tell what's so groundbreaking about this clip?
Pallavi Menke belongs to a community that for centuries was deemed untouchable.
It's from a new episode of the popular Amazon Prime show Made in Heaven, and it's very rare to see an untouchable Dalit person represented on screen in a positive light. But there are more layers to this story than you'd think, and we'll get to that. India's caste system is a social hierarchy that has historically categorized people into various classes. The system's structure is based on an interpretation of Hindu scripture, but its formalization was exacerbated during British rule. Today, caste discrimination is technically illegal in India, but Indians of many different religions still feel its effects. The caste system has 4 main levels, but there's a 5th category of people who are shut out of the system entirely.
Dalits are a group of formerly untouchable castes.
Yashika Dutt is a Dalit author who wrote about her personal journey of coming out with her Dalit identity.
I have stories in my family where our ancestors were not allowed to touch books. I have stories where my great-grandfather had to sit outside the classroom and scrawl a stick in the mud because he wasn't allowed to touch a pencil. Because if he touched a pencil, then his polluting presence would pollute the pencils and all the pencils of the earth. Apparently that was the logic.
Yashika herself is a Bhangi, one of the lowest Dalit subcastes.
The shame around the word Bhangi is so intense that people in my family, we didn't even say the word. I was raised to hide my caste.
Bhangis have historically been subjected to work like cleaning out non-flushing toilets and sewers by hand, often without any gear to protect them from toxic fumes or human waste. This task is also known as manual scavenging, and it's an incredibly dangerous job, killing nearly 500 people between 2015 and 2020.
I have relatives in my family today who are still engaged in manual scavenging. We become the caste that we are from. We become the work that we do, and we are treated in the same non-human way that our caste is treated.
Now, back to that Made in Heaven episode. It's actually about an inter-caste wedding where the groom's family tries to cover up an accomplished Dalit woman's background, but she doesn't let them.
Your family is very sweet and very nice as long as my identity is about the Ivy League stature and the awards. And the Dalit me? They'd rather whitewash it.
So, for a popular TV show to showcase a successful Dalit person pushing to celebrate her identity, it really is a big deal. The episode was even directed by a Dalit filmmaker.
Dalit characters have been represented on screen in a very angular and unilateral way. We've always been people who are in distress, people who are sad.
The weird thing is that the Dalit character in the show has a lot of parallels with Yashika's personal journey as a journalist and author of the memoir Coming Out as Dalit.
My grandmother used to manually clean toilets. She had no other choice.
While the director admitted that the scene was inspired by Yashika's story, the show did not give her an official credit. Amazon itself hasn't responded, but the show's producers denied appropriating Yashika's work.
I realized that I needed to claim what was mine because I worked very hard to create a space for people like myself. I think this is a pivotal moment in how we talk about Dalit rights because we're not ready to accept the crumbs that have been thrown our way.
Not discussed enough is the anti-blackness within the brown community, and I find it really interesting because it's basically a scapegoat to self-hate on our own skin tone, and it's also due to colonization. I think there's such a bad internalized form of colorism within India and a lot of people in the brown community that they use the black community in that way, because they hate their own skin tone so much. This is where they put that anger towards or that hate towards, and I really blame Western colonizers for this, and I feel like there's this big divide at the end of the day because we're so much more similar than we are with culture, with even similar features, but the way that we've been so divided for so long because of colonizers and because of these Eurocentric standards within society, it's just so sad to see how much the brown community, especially those in India, how much they'd rather still view the colonizers and the Western world in such a romanticized way compared to the hate and just active racism towards the black community when they actually haven't done anything to us and to our community. I feel like the Western community has done a lot more damage to us and other POC communities, but we still show them so much idolization, whether it comes to still having no dark-skinned female representation in movies to like Fair and Lovely. There's so many attributes that go into it, and it's just so sad because
You could be anything in this world without any restrictions. What would you want to be?
Please watch the entire video before coming to watch my video. Whether you want to accept it or not, caste pervades every aspect of society in India and every aspect of the Indian diaspora here in the US or Canada or Australia. Anywhere there's a South Asian diaspora, caste has pervaded it, caste has influenced it, because that is the legacy of our castes. That is the legacy of a 3,000-year-old system of discrimination. So effective, it doesn't even need to be enforced. That's how ingrained it is in our society. We've come to a point where we can identify what someone's caste is without ever even asking for it. All we need is their last name, their profession, the area they live in, the people they surround themselves with, their education, their fucking what area of the world they're in, what the color of their skin is, what language, what dialect of a language they speak. I'm a caste privileged person. It took me so much time to understand the ramifications of what that meant. I'm not saying my life was easy, but it definitely wasn't hard because of my caste. Caste definitely wasn't one of the reasons my life was hard. Caste didn't shut any doors for me. Look at that video. There are men and women who wanted to be teachers, nurses, doctors, who wanted to study, get degrees, who have said that if they were allowed to, the trajectory of their lives would have dramatically changed if they were allowed to pursue those things, but they weren't. There are so many people, so incredibly qualified, so much more qualified than me, but they are denied the same opportunities that I got, solely because of some random, arbitrary bullshit that they were assigned at birth. And it's not fair, and it will never be fair. But you know what? It'll be a little more fair once we start addressing it, once we start dismantling those systems. We will never undo the damage it's done, but at least we can stop the damage from being done to future generations. But if we need to start doing that, you need to get your head out of your ass. Your parents need to get their heads out of their asses and admit that they benefited from a 3,000-year-old system of discrimination. You, even if you didn't want to, benefited from the 3,000-year-old system of discrimination. And nothing you can do can change that, but you can help change it for the better for the future. Look at sources like Equality Labs. And most people will not watch the video for this long, so you know what? I'm going to put them in the comments too. But please, look at the sources I put in the comments. Read Annihilation of Caste by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. That's a great place to start. Look at Equality Labs. They have amazing resources. They have an unlearning caste supremacy workshop that's coming up. Please attend that. Do the work to undo the damage your ancestors have done.
Black part, but I know that my friends from Pakistan, he can't even tell his mom that we're friends because she hates black people that much. So,
a Pakistani. Also, your Pakistani's friend. He can't tell your mom your friend because
he can't tell his mom that we're friends.
Because she doesn't like black people.
Yeah. Because the thing is white people are the least racist people I've ever met. So, and I've met people from all over the world. So,
why do you think Pakistanis don't like black people, but then everybody's quick to say British people are racist?
Well, to be fair, most people don't like black people. Yeah. I don't know exactly the reason for it.
Racism towards Indian people is way too normal, and it honestly pisses me off. So yesterday a waiter asked about my necklace, and I said it's from India. I'm half Indian. And she goes, wait, you're Indian? Oh my god, you're so lucky your skin isn't brown. Like, what the fuck? And sometimes I actually think that looking like this makes me see the racism more. Like, when I'm in an elevator and a bunch of Indian people walk in, everyone else starts snickering and laughing, and they look at me like I'm in on the joke. And bro, the racism I've seen online is crazy. All I see is people saying, imagine the smell, bro. Oh, deodorant Dodgers. Or how, like, curry and street food looks like shit. But racism isn't okay unless it's towards Indians, right? And I think that most Indians have learned to just let it go at this point. Just because we don't want to seem like we can't take a joke. But at some point, it stops becoming a joke. And honestly, it makes it really sad because Indians are some of the most kind and genuine people that you'll ever meet. All my best friends are Indian. Anyways, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments.
Now, this is an important conversation, and it is also a sensitive one. India is an incredibly diverse country with a rich history, a countless culture, languages, and traditions at the same time. Like every nation, it also has difficult chapters that continue to affect people's lives today. So as always, let's approach today's discussion with respect an open mind and a willingness to understand different perspective rather than simply reacting to them. So, guys, one of the first things that stood out to me was just how deeply rooted the caste system has been throughout history. For centuries, social status was often determined not by a person's character or talent or ambitions, but simply by the family they were born into. So, guys, imagine entering the world and having many of your opportunities already decided before you have even had the chance to make your own choices. For many people, that idea is difficult to imagine. Yet, for generations, millions have lived under social expectation that influenced who they could marry, where they could live, what job they could perform, and even how others treated them in everyday's life. So, guys, that raises an important question. Should someone's future ever be determined by circumstances they had absolutely no control over? Most people would probably say no. Yet history shows that many societies, not just India, guys, get me correct, have created systems where birth determine opportunity. Another part of the discussion now focused on the Dalit community, often referred to historically as untouchables. So guys, the term itself, it reflects how severe the discrimination has been over many generations. Although legal protection now exists and India's constitution prohibits caste-based discriminations, many reports and personal stories suggest that prejudice still exists in some communities, particularly in rural areas. So, guys, the discussion included examples of people being denied equal treatment in a everyday situation. Even you have been watching these documentaries about the Indian, some have reported being refused services in restaurants or hotels. Others have faced discrimination in schools or workplace. There are also accounts of families living in separate neighborhoods because of their caste. Whether these experiences happened everywhere or not, even isolation cases raises serious questions about equality and human dignity, guys. Every person deserves to be treated with respect. That is what you are supposed to know. Regardless of their background, guys, respect is the most important thing. That principle shouldn't just depend on where someone was born. So, guys, there was also another issue that really made me stop and think was the discussion about manual scavenging. For those unfamiliar with the term, so this term it refers to the dangerous practices of manually cleaning human waste, often without proper safety equipments. Despite being outlawed in India, reports suggest that the practice has not disappeared completely. Many of those forced into this work have historically come from marginalized caste communities. Think about that for a moment, guys. In today's world, where our technology continues to advance at an incredible pace, some people still risk their lives performing work that many believe should never exist under modern conditions. That isn't simply an economic issue, guys. It is also a question of human dignity, workplace safety, and equal opportunities. So, guys, the conversation then shifted towards something many people around the world don't often discuss. That is colorism. While racism is widely recognized internationally, colorism is a different but a related issue, guys. It involves judging all or treating people differently based on how light or dark their skin is, even among people of the same ethnic or national background, guys. So, in some communities, lighter skin has historically been associated with high social status. That is completely crazy. Or beauty, you being white, you are seeing you are being ranked in the status quo like a very rich person. You have a lot of wealth. So, and also if you have that white color or light skin color, automatically your beauty, while your darker skin has sometimes been unfairly stigmatized. So, guys, that is not a challenge unique to India. No, or it's a version of this version of a colorism exists in many parts of the world, including Africa, Asia, the Caribbean, Latin America, and even within Western societies. It reminds us that prejudice can take many different forms. Sometimes it crosses a racial line. Sometimes it exists within the very same community. So, another interesting point involved the Afro-Indians and the people to African descent living in India. Guys, some individuals have experienced the discrimination not only because of race, but also because of existing social attitudes connected to skin color and the social hierarchy. So, if that is true, it raises an important question. How does society respond when multiple forms of discrimination overlap? Finding fair answers that require honest conversation rather than a denial. So, one of the broader themes throughout the discussion was accountability. It is true that colonialism left lasting effects across many countries, including India. History shaped political systems, economies, and the social structure in significant ways. At the same time, the discussion argued that modern society must also examine the challenges that they can address themselves. In other words, understanding history is important, guys. But meaningful progress also depends on what people choose to do today. That is an idea worth thinking about. So, every country has inherited problems from the past. You know that during the colonial period, the real question becomes whether those problems continue because they are impossible to solve or because change is often slow, difficult, and sometimes resisted. I also appreciate that the conversation wasn't simply about criticizing one country. Instead, it raises broader questions that apply almost everywhere. How do societies eliminate discrimination that has existed for generations? Can laws alone change people's attitudes? Or does a real change require education, dialogue, and cultural transformation over time? Those aren't easy questions, guys. Passing law is an important, but changing hearts and minds usually takes much longer. Another thing I kept thinking about is how conversations like these can easily become emotional, guys. They usually become emotional. Some people become defensive because they feel their country is being unfairly judged. Others become frustrated because they believe these issues aren't talked about enough. But perhaps the most productive conversation happened when people are willing to acknowledge both progress and the work that still remains. Recognizing a problem doesn't mean rejecting an entire country or its culture. Likewise, celebrating progress shouldn't prevent us from acknowledging where improvement is still needed. Those two ideas can exist at the same time, guys. At the end of the day, I think most people, regardless of where they come from, want many of the same things. They want dignity. They want equal opportunities. They want to be judged by their character rather than by the family they were born into, the color of their skin, or the social labels placed upon them. So, those are values that resonate across cultures and across borders. That is why conversations like these matter. Not because they provide all the answers, but because they encourage us to ask better questions about fairness, equality, and the kind of societies we hope to build for future generations, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you believe societies can completely overcome systems of discriminations that have existed for centuries? Or do you think meaningful change takes many generations to achieve? So, guys, share your thoughts or your perspective in the comments below. As always, let's keep the discussion respectively, because some of the most valuable conversation happen when people with different experiences are willing to listen to one another. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care and God bless you.